Okay. So today for writing, what we're going to be doing is we're going to start a writing on a how to do something text. So today we're not necessarily starting a bunch of writing, but we're going to be working with a how to text. So we're going to get on Wonders. You know how to do that by going to our resources and clicking on online resources, and then the BCSC elementary curriculum resources, and that's where all of our things are, so you know how to get onto Wonders. For my friends that haven't been on Wonders for a while, I'm going to pull up the student view so you can see where your assignment would be. It would be under the to-do list. Since mine is under my name, I'm not under student view. It says I have nothing to do because I'm the teacher, but you would have something labeled with, it would look like this. It would be labeled how to writing. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up. We're going to talk together about this a little bit, and then I'm going to let you work on a how-to writing with the interactive model. So first things that we're going to do is we're going to look and we're going to see what it's going to have us do. It says a how-to text. A how-to text explains a process, such as how something works or how to do something. Then you write a how-to text. It's important to sequence the process in an order that makes sense for the reader in the order of steps that needed to be followed. A how-to text has these features. So these things that are about to be listed are very important for a how-to text. It explains a process, such as how something works or how to do something. It lists steps in the order they need to be followed, because if we're doing a how-to writing, if you're telling me how to make a PB&J sandwich and you tell me to cut the bread first and I haven't put any peanut butter and things on and it's not in the right steps, my peanut butter sandwich may not look like what you're wanting it to look like. Then it says it has time order words to make the order of the steps clear. So we will be practicing sequencing as we go along in our reading as well next week, with first, second, then, next, and we always end with finally. So we're going to be practicing that kind of writing and those key words. It says it also shares facts, definitions, details, quotations, or examples that explain each step. So you're giving extra information as well instead of just telling the reader how to do something. In this workshop, you will write how to text explaining how to play a game or make an art piece or a craft, complete a procedure, or make a healthful dish of food. During this writing assignment, you will complete the following steps. So this writing assignment is going to take multiple days for us, and we're going to be doing these different steps before we turn in our writing to Mrs. Cox, okay? First thing, we're going to identify key features of a how-to text. That's what we're doing today, okay? So we're just doing the step 1, identify the key features of a how-to text. So we're going to be practicing that. In a day or two, we're going to be then plan and organize ideas by using notes and graphic organizers. So you're going to come up with your idea of your how-to text, and you're going to start to organize it. After that, you will begin to draft, revise, and edit a how-to text. And then you will publish and present your how-to text and use a rubric for self-evaluation of the how-to text. And then over time during our writing, when we finish this writing, what's going to happen is you're also going to present your screen and you're going to share. You may be the person that we pin to the screen, and you will show us how to do something along with your writing. I haven't figured that quite out yet, but we will look into that, and I'll let you know more when we have it more figured out. So first off, before we start our writing section, I'm going to go back to our Google Meet and see if anyone has any questions. If you have a question, please comment with a question mark in the chat for me. Area Cole, you have a question.
How are we going to, submit it?
We will look at the program all together here in a moment, and I'll show you each section, okay? Okay? Any other questions before we move on? Carter, Arp, you need to be muted. You didn't put a question mark in the messages, so I know that you shouldn't be talking right now to our group. I don't know if your computer froze or not, but I'll help you out here if you're not frozen yet. Or muted, not frozen. Okay. Looks like everyone else is still muted. Great. We're going to go back to our assignment, and we're going to look at it. So when you get this, it's going to look just like this. You're going to hit Start Assignment when it's time for you to do your work, okay? Now, it will be starting with the guided model. This is what we're going to do together today. We're going to do the guided model and the interactive model together, okay? So we're doing 2 sections, and as you get into this document, you can look and see all the different sections at one time and things like that. But for some of them, it won't let you move on until you've done the previous step, okay? So for today, we're going to start with the guided model. We're going to read instructions because instructions are important first, and we're going to look at this writing and see how we can learn about a how-to text. So directions say, read the student model to the left. When you come across the highlighter icon, click on it to learn about writing traits and techniques shown in the model. And then it says language proficiency speaking. Reading aloud can help you understand the text and appreciate the rhythm and flow of writing. Reading aloud can also help you develop your reading skills and build your vocabulary. Read the student model aloud. If you're unsure how to pronounce any words, you might click on the play button up here to listen to a recorded reading of the student model before you attempt to read aloud the text yourself. Okay, so to save time, because we don't have that much time, for the first go round, while we're working on it with me, I'm going to read it aloud. When we get off of our Google Meet and you're working on some of these things by yourself, you need to read it aloud. Okay, so I'm going to start by reading it aloud. Well, actually, I think we'll just listen to it. So we're going to listen to this how-to text, and we're going to click on the highlighters.
How to Make a Code Wheel by Diana J. It's fun to send secret messages. Here's how you can create a code wheel to write a coded message.
Okay, so that is where our first highlighter is. If I click on this highlighter, it says explanation of a process. A how-to text provides an explanation of the process, such as how something works or how to do something. In the second sentence of this text, Diana states that she's going to explain how you can create a code wheel to write a coded message. I think I'm going to read it. It would be faster that way. Okay, so this is her steps on how to do it. You need 2 paper plates, a pair of scissors, a ruler, a pencil or pen, a paper fastener, also called a brad. So a paper fastener is called a brad, and a sheet of paper. Let's see what the next highlighter says. List of materials. A writer should list the materials a reader would need to gather before starting the how-to text. In the first paragraph, Diana clearly lists all the materials needed to make a code wheel. What are some of those materials needed? I'm going to call on a friend in the chat. If you would like to help me with that in our Google Meet, please comment with the letter F in our chat for me, please. Okay. Aria, you commented with the letter F, so I'm going to pull it back up for you. What are some materials that you need to create a code wheel?
How many do I say?
You can say as many as you'd like.
You need 2 paper plates, a brad, and a pencil or pen.
Okay. There's a few other things that were not listed. Whoops. What would some of those things be? Quinn, what's something else that was listed that Aria didn't say? She said you needed paper plates, a pen or a pencil, and a brad. What else do you need?
Scissors.
Okay, scissors. It looks like we also need a ruler and a sheet of paper. Okay, so I'm going to continue reading. It says first. Now this word first, this is one of our sequencing words that tells me my steps. It's telling me this is the first thing I should do. First, cut 2 inches from the outside edge of a paper plate. Trim all the way around the plate. Next, use the tip of a pencil or pen to punch a hole in the center of the plate. Be careful not to poke yourself. Place the small plate over the large one and line up the holes. Push the brad through the holes to connect the plates. This highlighter says how-to text should provide steps in order they need to be followed. The first step Diana tells the reader is to trim the outside edge of the paper plates. Then she goes on to explain how to fasten together this plate and the other plate. It would be difficult or impossible to trim one of the paper plates if it were already fastened to the other plate. Therefore, the steps are in the order they need to be followed. Okay, let's go to the next section. It says then, and there's a highlighter word. Writers make the steps in how-to text easy to follow by using time order words. Time order words tell you what is happening when. Diana often uses time order words to guide the reader. Examples of time order words she uses include first, next, and in this case, then. So she's given us 3 steps that we know we need to follow. Then use the ruler to divide the rim of the large wheel into 26 equal spaces. In each space, write a letter of the alphabet. Go from A to Z. Divide the small wheel in the same way. This time, write a number from 1 to 26 in each space. Now you're ready to use the wheel. Turn the small wheel so that the number is right under the letter A. For example, you can line up A with 10. Write A equals 10 on a scrap paper. This is the key to your code. Writers should share facts, definitions, details, quotations, or examples to explain the steps in a how-to text. Diana guides the reader through each of the steps. Here she gives an example to help explain how to find a number to represent a letter in your code. Use the code wheel to tell what numbers to write to each letter in your message. Put a dash between the numbers to show that each stands for one letter. Leave a space between words. Finally, have some fun. Share your code with a friend and send each other secret messages. So this was our intro to our how-to writing. She taught us how to make a code wheel. If you have extra time today, maybe you can go back to this and maybe follow her instructions and see if you can create a code wheel. Now we are going to go to the interactive model. On the interactive model, it once again has the exact same writing that we just read, except for there's no highlighters this time. This time, it gives us instructions on things to do, okay? It says instruction, directions. Read the model to the left. So when I dismiss you to work, you're going to reread this to the left. Then click on the instruction blades below, that's these sections here, and answer the questions. In some cases, you'll be asked to highlight certain parts of the model before you answer a question. To do this, click the mouse and drag to highlight the text. Write your answer in the box that appears, then save your work. So this first one I'm going to do with you, and then we're going to look at the other ones, okay? It says explanation of a process. What is the process Diana explains in her how-to text? Highlight the sentences in the first paragraph that states why readers might want to learn this process. So first things we need to do is we need to highlight the sentence in the first paragraph. That's this section here that states why readers might want to learn this process. So in order for us to do that, I need a friend to comment in the chat with the letter Y, please. The letter Y. Aria's already helped me. I'm looking for a new friend to help me out with our writing. Comment with a Y, please. Eric, great. I'm going to go back to our text, In this first paragraph right here, this top section, what would I highlight that states why readers might want to learn this process? It says, it's fun to send secret messages. Here's how you create a code wheel to write a coded message. You need 2 tip paper plates, a pair of scissors, a ruler, a pen or a pencil, a paper fastener, also called a brad, and a sheet of paper. What sentence, Eric, would I highlight in that section?
The materials you need.
You think that's what would make readers want to learn the process?
Wait, no.
What do you think? It's usually something that will hook my reader into wanting to read more.
I think you should highlight, here's how you can create a code wheel, because that would probably make them want to do it.
Okay, let's go ahead and highlight that. So I just clicked and I dragged my thing. That would hit highlight, and then it's going to have me answer the next part. It says, in the process, Diana explains her how to, what is the process Diana explains in her how-to text? So we're going to highlight this. Then we need to talk about the process, okay? So while I need another friend to share with me, comment with an H. What are some steps that she needs to do? Aria and Eric have already answered. I'm going to look for a new friend. What are some steps we need to do? We'll go back to the writing to look. Waiting on a friend. Erin, how about you help me a little bit on this? What were some steps that we needed to do in our writing? What did she say you needed to do with the paper plates? Do you remember?
No.
No, you don't? Do you remember any of the steps?
Huh?
Do you remember any of the steps that she wrote?
No.
No? Then we need to go back to the text. Let's look at our text here. It says, first, cut 2 inches from the outside edge of a paper plate. Trim all the way around the plate. Next, use the tip of a pencil or pen to punch a hole in the center of each plate. Be careful not to poke yourself. Place the small plate over the large one and line up the holes. Push the brad through the holes to connect the plates. So, Erin, now that we've read part of that, what is something that we need to do in our process to create a code wheel?
Place the small plate over I can't even see.
Here, let me see if I can zoom in any. I might not be able to. No, it's not letting me zoom in, but I don't know what I just did. It's not letting me zoom in any, so I can't help you on that.
Place the small plate over the large one and line up the holes.
Okay, that's one thing that we could do, yes. I think we should put it in the order on how we should do it. So what other step could we do? Let me call on another friend here. Max, I need your help as well. So Max, what's another step? Erin told me to place the small plate over the large one and line up the holes. What else could I be doing?
Push the brad through the holes to connect the plates.
Okay, yeah. We also probably should punch a hole and also cut 2 inches. So these are some things that when you go to answer, here's the thing that Eric had us highlight. Then we would type things like, you need to, someone needs to mute their Chromebook, please. You need to cut the plates 2 inches. 2 inches. Then we should poke a hole. And whatever else we would say, Erin said to put the plates together. Max said to push the brad through the hole. You would type those things and then you would hit save. When you hit save, what you do is it saves your process of what you wrote for that question automatically. If you don't like what you wrote, you can hit delete and redo the answer. You can go back and forth that way. Then it's going to have you go through the next step. When you've finished one step, you're going to click on the next one. It says list materials. It's important to include the materials one needs to follow a how-to text. When does the writer list the materials in the how-to text? Highlight the materials that are needed to make the code wheel. So you're going to answer the question and highlight what you need to do. So you would look in here and you'd find your answer. You'd highlight part of it and then you'd also type part of it. You have a steps in the process section. You're going to follow instructions for this and answer as well. Time order words, it's going to have you identify those time order words. And then finally, you're going to highlight some supporting details. When you finish that and you hit save on all of your answers, it saves it automatically. That's all you're doing today. And you will need to find a little bit of time after our math lesson after lunch, because lunch is in 6 minutes. So you can get started on this, but you will need to finish this up because tomorrow we are going to do the planning process on what you are going to be writing about. So not only are you going to answer the questions about Diana's writing, you're also going to be thinking about, what is something I could write about that I could tell someone how to do something? It may be something related to sports that you really enjoy. It may be something related to a craft you really enjoy. It could be something related to something you're just really good at. It could be something as simple as how to bake a frozen pizza. It could be something how to finger paint, how to kick a soccer ball. It could be anything that you know that you can list steps on. So you're going to be brainstorming today about what you think you might want to write your own how-to writing about, okay? Now, this last couple of minutes we're going to take for questions, and then I'm going to dismiss you. This has already been assigned to you for you to work on the part that says interactive model only, okay? That's the part that you are working on by yourself sometime today, and you're thinking about what you would like to write about. So if you have any questions, put a question mark in the chat. For those that do not have any questions and they feel like they're ready to start and want to take that little time, you may go ahead and get off our Google Meet. I will see you at 12:15 for math. So from 11 to 12 is lunch. So there's 15 minutes after lunch and recess that you can maybe finish up your writing. Okay? Now, Eric, you have a question.
Yeah, I didn't hear on the last part. Did you say we can write about anything, like how to do anything?
Yes, anything that you're good at that is school appropriate.
Okay, that's going to be simple.
Okay. Any other questions?
Bye, Mrs. Cobb.
Bye, Jonathan. Aria, do you have a question? Bye, Aria.
Bye, Ariel.
Bye, Mia. Aiden, Ash, do you have a question? No. Aria? Okay.